Love it. Well, it's Friday the 13th, and if you're a homeowner, an aspirational homeowner, a renter, an investor, or someone who's merely been in a house before, be afraid. Be very afraid.
Bill Shorten's reckless and dangerous experiment with the largest asset class in Australia will drive down home values and drive up rents.
Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull today, scaring the bejeebers out of homeowners and renters.
Everything he is proposing in his policies are going to drive up rents, reduce the availability of rental property and pull down the value of every home.
In a spooky coincidence, today the real estate industry has launched its own campaign to slander Labor's policy of restricting negative gearing as an economy killer.
Malcolm Turnbull and the real estate industry have chosen Friday the 13th to launch their Not Very Scary Scare campaign.
Now, I understand that vested interest will always scream in defence of their particular part of taxpayer subsidy. In Australia, over $10 billion a year of taxpayer money goes to subsidise negative gearing.
The industry will roll out emails to the 15 million Aussies on their database. A TV scare campaign being likened to the anti-mining tax ads could follow.
So who'll be hurt by this super tax? Everyone.
Those ads played a major role in K-Rudd's demise in 2010. So what might the ads look like if they were being brutally honest? Under Labor, rents will skyrocket. Even though when negative gearing was temporarily abandoned, rental prices dropped in most cities. House prices will plummet overnight. Modelling suggests home values would still grow, just by a bit less. We're only making this ad because we care about your housing investment. It has nothing to do with self-interest. Okay, is anyone buying that? Going once? Going twice? Anyone?
So this is all a bit weird because every day someone's trying to launch some sort of campaign and begs to come on the show to talk about it. But today an entire industry launched a campaign and we couldn't get anyone from that industry to talk to us.
Yeah, it's a really interesting strategy, that one. And can I point out, we tried. I mean, one of our producers, poor guy, has spent all day on the phones, getting phone calls, locking people in, being told at the last minute they're not available. We have done everything we can to try to make this happen, but no cigar.
So instead, we're talking to Catherine Cashmore from Prosper Australia. Catherine, despite going to ground today, this campaign from the industry will actually work, won't it?
Oh, I don't know whether it will work. It depends whether people actually look through the scare that they're causing and actually sees the reality, you know, that what they're saying is absolute rubbish.
So, Catherine, in the absence of having someone from the industry here to put the case, it's kind of left to us to try to do the best that we can. And the most compelling argument, it seems to me, for keeping negative gearing has to do with allowing people to fund their retirement, sometimes not even especially wealthy people, but so they can fund their retirements and take pressure then off the pension. What's your response to that?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because our whole tax system has been structured around encouraging speculation, and what the government is doing with negative gearing and with the capital gains discount is it's encouraging people to speculate on land inflation rather than putting their money into business and startups, rather than putting it into new property. And that's what Labor is wanting to do. They're wanting people that instead of speculating on established housing, they will limit negative gearing to new property.
But it does create some new dwellings, doesn't it? And there's an argument that the policy, as it is, boosts the economy. It creates more new dwellings. People spend more money renovating older houses. Negative gearing can be good, can't it?
No, not at all. There's no evidence that it boosts new dwellings in the way that we could boost new dwellings if we brought in a broad-based land tax, for example. When you start to speculate on land inflation, you start to push property prices upwards. You really sow the seeds of destruction for the economy, because once you make land unaffordable, then it becomes difficult not just for residents that are trying to get into homes, but for businesses, higher rents, higher mortgage payments. And once the private debt gets too high, the productive sectors of the economy just, you know, it becomes to the point where you just haven't got the ability to pay down the debt, and that's where you get a housing crisis.
Catherine, this campaign to leave negative gearing as it is was launched by an industry full of salesmen, yet none of them today were prepared to sell it. Can we read anything into this?
It's a shame for the real estate industry, an industry that has built itself up around this specular fervour in in the housing market. And yeah, they can't front up. And I imagine that's because their argument doesn't really have much of a foundation to it.
Well, good to talk to you, Catherine. Thanks for your time.
No worries, no worries. Thank you.